The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
We're going to be talking about this habit of not taking a shot or being afraid to miss a shot. So I want you guys to think about this for a second. Like the whole context around this is this shot may just be something in your life that you've held back from going all in on. Something in your life that you have been afraid to move forward. Now, the way that this all started was last night, I learned a powerful lesson. I was watching my son, who's 11, play in his first basketball game of the year at a brand new school, new teams, new friends, all of it. But his first game of the year, as I sat there and watched him, I watched him miss every single shot that he took. And I could tell he was getting frustrated. Even though he continued to play, even though he continued to hustle, he continued to get rebounds, I could see the effect that missing a shot had on him. I could see the effect that every time he took this shot, it was almost like he became more afraid to miss. But I could also see that he was willing to do whatever it took to help his team out and help them win. Now, as the game went on, the last 4 or 5 minutes, his team was down by 8 points. And within the last minute, they were down by 1 point. And they were down at their end of the hoop. Guys were passing it around, and he was in the low block. If you don't know what the low block is, he was almost under the hoop. And somebody passed it to him. He was wide open, and he took the shot, and he made a layup. And in the last minute, it ended up being the winning point, the point that put them ahead by 1 point. And he had this opportunity to take this shot, and he could have easily passed it up. He could have easily passed it to someone else. But he made it, and it was awesome. I was so excited, and I was so excited to see the smile on his face. That was really the best part for me. Just to be able to see how excited he got by making this one shot. And this was the only shot that he made the entire game. And I was so proud of him. And I talked to him after the game and said, I'm so proud of you, one, for how many shots that you took in the game and continued to play hard and push hard and support your team, but also to not hesitate when it came down to the final shot in the game, because there's a lot of people who will hesitate and be afraid to take that shot and even pass it up. But it made me think about how many times in life, how often we expect to win at life, in business, in our relationships, in our fitness, even in our spirituality. We want to be connected to this purpose, yet we don't even take a shot. We don't even take the shot of actually stepping out, or we're afraid to miss the shot. We're afraid to even play the game. Think about this. You're afraid, we're afraid, I'm afraid to even play a game of life. How many times in your life have you been afraid to take this shot? How many times have you been afraid to actually just step out on the court? And I'm not talking about the court of basketball. I'm talking about the court of life. This hesitation. Think about it. Because I know in my life, there's been many times I've hesitated, and I could tell you there wasn't, but that would be a lie. I could tell you how many times I've been afraid to take a shot or even play the game. But I also want you to realize this. There's an opportunity for you to start playing today. There's an opportunity for you to get in the game of life, and change your relationships with your wife, your kids, change your business, to start putting some money in your bank account, to change your fitness, to change your nutrition. But guess what? You're going to have to step on the court of life and start playing in those areas. No way they're going to change if you continue to stand back. You see, there's this thing. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I can remember reading something about Michael Jordan one time that he missed the most shots of anybody in the history of basketball. Think about that. The best player to ever walk the court, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, missed more shots than anybody else. But guess what? He also scored more shots, more baskets, more points than anyone else. Now, there's been a few guys that have passed him up, but I want you to just think about that. Because we're on the topic of basketball, I'm going to use that analogy, but Michael Jordan missed more shots than anyone else, and he also made more shots than anyone else. There were so many times when I was a kid that I watched him take the last shot in the game, and it seemed like every time he made them. But I didn't see the hundreds of times when he was a kid, when he was in junior high and high school, and even in college, that he missed the game-winning shots. That every shot that he missed, I didn't get to see that. I only got to see the shots at the end of games that he would make and his team would win the championship and everybody would go crazy. Who else remembers that? Back in the 90s. I also remember the one shot in college. He played at the University of North Carolina. He took the final shot. I think it was the NCAA championships, and he made it. And I remember the picture and the smile on his face. But I remember those moments he made the shots, but I didn't get to see all the times that he had missed, all the times that he had failed at the game-winning shots. And a lot of times, that's what life is like. We don't ever see all the shots people missed. So we automatically think when they're successful that they've always been successful. They've always made the shots. And that's not true. Like, listen, in order to have a successful marriage, like, you're going to have to miss a lot of shots. I missed a lot of shots. I missed so many shots. I was down to maybe my final 3 or 4 shots. Some of you may be listening to this and your marriage may be struggling. And you may feel like you're down to your final shot, but don't be afraid to take it. Don't be afraid to go all in and get on the court and start playing the game of life in your marriage. Maybe this is with your kids. Don't be afraid to take that final shot with your kid and just go all in with them. Maybe you're on your last leg of your business. You're like, man, I don't know how I'm going to make this paycheck. I don't know how I'm going to pay my employees. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent this month. But the only way you're going to be able to do it is to get in the game right now, right here. Because you never know when you get an opportunity to take that game-winning shot at life and win. Win in your relationship, win in your business, win in your body. So I'm going to ask you this final question today. What is the one shot that you have been unwilling to take? What is the one shot you've been unwilling to take? What is the one shot you are holding back on taking? Maybe it's one shot you've been afraid to just pick up the ball and take. the final shot. Guys, this is the final thing for today. Leave me a review, shoot me an email if you have questions. If you have a question on, hey man, I'm struggling in my marriage. I want to take that final shot, but I'm just not sure. Maybe there's another area you're struggling with in your business. You're not able to make rent and you're struggling with this final shot. This is your last shot at it. You can reach out to me, Jesse, at habitbasedlifestyle.com. You can also check my website, habitbasedlifestyle.com. I will be back next week with a new episode, and we're going to be talking about something else. So until then, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing.